Now, how do you feel?
I'm back.
Where was you when you were laughing?
I'm gonna replay one
Now,
other intro.
let's all just laugh.
So I wanted to explain what Minecraft is in the frame of this secret ability that I discovered. Because make it into whatever it was I was trying to make at that moment. In other words, it's not 100% clear to me right now, at this moment, that I am doing the thing that is making what I'm making. It's not 100% clear what I am doing when I'm sitting here doing it, because for it to be clear, I have to study it. I have to look at it. I have to read it. I have to pick up the book and read it in order to know what the book says. So I can't simultaneously read it and write it at the exact same time. It's physically impossible to do that. Now, let's say you're sitting here participating and interacting with me while it's being made. So you can tell me, what do you see? What does it say when you read it? And you can tell that back to me. And you can write it right here in the chat box. Why the fuck is this chat not sending? Alright, we are going to complete this thread that I'm talking about. But before I can do that, I have to check and see if I couldn't send the chat. Now I can. And I was like, okay, well, clearly we've lost 25 seconds of this a couple times. And I hadn't yet switched over to the Ethernet option at that point. I decided to do that right after that. So let's resume what I was just trying to say. What I'm saying is that I don't know what I'm trying to make. I don't know exactly what it is or what it looks like until I sit there and spend time looking at it and thinking about it in the second person perspective. And so, if you're going to create anything, you can't expect yourself to both read what it is and write what it is at the exact same moment. It's impossible. It can't be done. This is what I would say is the practical insight that I extracted out of the mythos, um, the mythos enthusiasm and amusement that Alan Watts portrays in all of his work. The creative insight that I extracted out of that is the fact that the you that you are is one you don't exactly command, and you don't know what it's going to do until such a moment as you actually do it. And so, in the stream format, I was talking about this throughout some of my recent commentary streams. When you have like a schedule and a point in time where you've chosen to enter the activity of creating, you don't have any way of knowing what it is you're going to create, should look like, or could look like. And if you tried to know that, you'd be wrong. You'd sit down and start doing it, and it wouldn't be anything like what you were thinking it should or could be like. Not really. I mean, you might sit there and craft something out kind of according to your outline or your script. But the thing is, that's not really... That's you acting out a script to any given degree. You can sit there and act out a script, and that's one thing. But you can plan an outline and then touch on it now and then. Go back and forth between your outlined idea and what is actually unfolding as what you're making is being written. And you're not going to see the whole picture of what that is, what it exactly looks like. You're not going to see that. It's not possible for you to see that, as I mentioned. You can't monitor what that is and do the action that makes it monitorable exactly simultaneously. So there's this magic waiting room thing that allows you to... It allows me right now to speak to me 6 weeks plus from right now if I'm still alive. And that one is the one that's going to create what I'm trying to create right now. All I'm doing is putting some materials in the stash, in the inventory for that one then, to pick it up and figure out what it is exactly that I was making, and then save it into the archive so I can watch it and lurk in that content. So those are like the 3 checkpoints in the Ghost Who Waits creativity model. Is I have to do activities that I enjoy. I have to do that pretty regularly. If I'm not pretty regularly doing activities that I enjoy, I kind of unravel. I cease to be able to function in any sort of sense of mood, of being not pissed off and being able to just have a normal night of sleep. If your sleep gets fucked up, that's going to be super disruptive. It's going to throw you off from being able to engage in the enjoyment of your just basic baseline. And these last couple days have been an absolute... I don't know if I was pre-resonating the vibe that brought us to where we are right this second, but it's absolute insanity. It's mythically legendary what's going on. And so I've escalated the measures taken to let myself get some rest to the degree that I need to. And it's worked, as I'm more functional right now than I have been over the past several days. So the means by which I can realize what it is I'm making, that's what Minecraft means. It's the means by which I'm able to step into a second person perspective type of a place and utilize that for creativity. And then output objects, instructional objects, which are portraying what I feel by having accessed these mechanics, these creativity mechanisms that are allowing me to explore this element of gameplay in the meditation sense and creativity in also the meditation sense, because the second person perspective essentially just opens up the view. It allows you to see with a real clarity what's happening, and allowing you to see, okay, I was using this question to do this action. I just wasn't aware of it, but this is what I was doing, just with no cognition, no consciousness of it. Creative consciousness is just a phrase that describes your second person perspective exertion toward what is essentially Minecraft, to discover what is your joy and to then engage in the action of like, for example, when you put together a playlist of music that you really like, that's an example of what I'm talking about at a very, very, very small and simple and easy to chew level of second person perspective Minecrafting. Because you're not able to enjoy that music in the way you end up enjoying it after you hear it in that order and you listen to it on repeat. You lurk in that content. That's all I'm doing with everything that I enjoy, is I am making it possible for me to lurk in it. I'm curating it into these long form things that I can just push play on, or I can create a 40-hour playlist of them and tune in myself into that streaming ongoing playlist, which is what I've done with Alan Watts lectures and what I'm attempting to do with the whole entire creative array of what I enjoy and what I find to be educational. Alright, we are switching over to Void Elfies gameplay. Kicking it off, I should say. I feel like the WoW sound is like non-existent. Oh, because my headphones were turned way down. Okay. Master volume is at 25, ambience is at 100, and everything else is at the lowest audible level of 10%. Music is off. Let's go ahead and fucking listen to the music for this. We'll listen to all the sound. Okay. And I need to... Okay. So what I've been doing overall with Minecraft is realizing these things in a way that I'm increasingly able to convey in the content. Okay, yeah, we did turn on the void totem here, which is... That's fine, that's good. This filter is cool because you can see really, really far, and then the skybox ends. It is pretty noisy, though. That wasn't supposed to happen. We avoided death, so the void totem continues on. Hinterlands becomes Plaguelands, which becomes Ghostlands. That's what Minecraft actually means, though. It means doing something that has to do with explaining and instructing about what's going on in your mind. In order to do that, you have to figure out what it is that illuminates, what is it that casts light. So Jordan Peterson's talking about the mechanics of conversation, the means by which you manage to do that. You manage to shine the light and find what it is that there is to find, which is an act of organizing the material that you already have. And words just allow us to point to it, to reference that stuff. It's already there. The words are just a tool like money that lets us point to it and invoke it. But it's there whether or not. That's why I really like the phrase about the attainment of enlightenment in Satori is being a dumb man who's had an incredible dream. You just absolutely cannot convey it. You can't vocalize it. But an experience like a game, which is somebody's intricate artwork that they've designed and inhabiting it and acknowledging that this is where I live, that my house is this place, and it's contained in me. I'm not in it. It is inside of me. That's my means of conveying that experience, that amazing experience the dumb person has had. It's this. It's coming here to these places that somebody has constructed and a large group of people have come together to construct. It's just mystical. It's mesmerizing. All my art is about this. The human mind, the part of it that we share in common, the unity of this thing, this liminal vibe at the edge where it's all already made and we're just going there to discover what it looks like. Never actually tried to go to the Death Knight house as somebody who's not a Death Knight. Okay, looks like we're getting forced down the skybox here. Oh, because you're not allowed to enter the Ghostlands with what I'm about to try. Because the Ghostlands was added in BC, so the furthest up you could go in this map was right here. Right where Strat is, right over here. This place existed, but it was like some weird looking high elf kind of zone, and there was a little quest in these little huts. Yeah, it's like troll guys now. There's this whole quest that was added. But we actually have to find the zone portal that lets you zone into the Ghostlands. And there will not be flight, we will be on foot. I think it's this road right here. Oh no wait, this thing right here, this Quel'Thalas thingy is what I was thinking of. It's this little structure. There was a quest in vanilla. Yeah, Quel'Thalas Lodge, exactly. That's what I was trying to remember. But then there's this unknown space in the world map right here above it. It's like, what is this? We don't even know what this is. There's some expansion that we'll get later that will tell us that. Some people wanted it to be Classic Plus, which I'm in favor of. I would like them to create a next patch in the Classic world, but that you would need to enter it as another expansion so that the mythos of the original Classic remains as it is, as it remained, essentially. So there will be one that remains as it remained, and then one where you go ahead and continue into new content set in a world where, let's say, Burning Crusade still gets made, but what's happening there is things that expand on stuff that wasn't ever implemented during Classic and Vanilla that interestingly pertains. There's this guy on Reddit who has done tons of mock-ups of zones that could be done and added or expanded. So yeah, that let us peer into Ghostlands, but we can't fly.
This was once Eversong Forest.
Oh, cool.
A place